to Intro Skippers with Kim and Jason. I am the skipper of the SS Intro, and this is your other skipper, Jason. Say hello, Jason.
Skipper! Got that out of the way.
I don't know what that is.
Gilligan's Island. It's fine. We're a multi-generational podcast here.
Yes, we'll get to that in a little bit. Mm-hmm. I'm going to be honest with you all. Jason told me to write a real intro for the podcast, but then I didn't, because why would I write an intro for a thing called Intro Skippers? Right?
You know what?
Think
That's very meta, I guess. I don't know, but that's good. I like it.
Okay, well, let's get into what the title even means. Intro Skippers. It's not that we hate theme songs of
We better not.
some shows, like The Big Bang Theory, for one. What it really means is we're excited to watch the show, and we're skipping right to the good part, the part we can't wait to focus on and think about and talk about after. In fact, that's how we became friends.
Yeah. I think also what would be good is if every show that we talk about, maybe we say, hey, should you, after you watch the intro once, should you skip it or not? Like, should we give that report? Because there are certain shows, like today's episode, where you probably shouldn't skip the intro. Because
I would never skip the intro to this show.
Yeah, because not only is it catchy, it also sometimes changes, you know,
but
and
mostly,
does cool stuff.
I love it.
Okay, yeah. So I guess, is the intro skippable? It would be.
The answer is no.
Okay.
But, so, that's how we became friends, which is the impetus for this podcast. If you don't know what we look like, we do not look like we'd be good friends.
That's fair. That's fair.
And for a long time we weren't, but then we bonded over specifically HBO prestige dramas, and that is the base of this actual friendship. Plus, we're both touching the entertainment industry in very different aspects. I'm a working entertainment host and video journalist, and have for a long time covered entertainment and video games as news, but have also analyzed and discussed what that means in ways big and small, in-world and out-world. What do you do, Jason?
Cool. I am mainly a musician and a voice actor, but I also occasionally am a host. I'm also a streamer. I'm also a Dungeons and Dragons and TTRPG performer.
You are vastly underselling what you do. Jason is a very successful singer and musician. If you listen to his voice acting, you're not going to believe it's him. Tons of credits, very good. One of the best TTRPG players in the biz.
Aww.
He writes the songs. He produces the music. He owns a business. Just so many things. I had to make my intro longer so that I could match up to his.
Well, I find, if I keep it simple and underplay it, then when people discover cool things about me, then it's even cooler, right?
Well, that's going to happen in this episode, as you showed me right before we started recording, and I said you have to include that in the episode.
That's true. Okay.
And that brings us to the first ever main topic for our first episode, which I fought Jason on for a long time. I told him it was not SEO friendly, and it doesn't make sense as an introduction, and he said, do you have a better idea? And I said, okay, we'll do yours. So I give you our first topic, the What We Do in the Shadows series finale.
Yay!
No, I actually am excited about it. So we're talking about, it is something that occurred in December, out of the news cycle, and it's the close of the series at the beginning of our series. Should I have fought against this harder? Let's find out. What We Do in the Shadows is a mockumentary-style comedy TV series that premiered on FX on March 27th, 2019. It was created by Jermaine Clement and Taika Waititi based on their 2014 film of the same name. The show takes a humorous look at the lives, or rather undead lives, of 4 vampires living together in Staten Island, New York. The main characters of the show did not appear in the original movie and have extremely loose ties to those characters at all. It really shouldn't have worked on paper, but oh man, did it ever. And that's kind of the reason why I said yes to this being our first episode, because it doesn't seem like it'll work, but damn it, it does. And that's how I feel about this.
Jeez. I kind of feel a little,
No, it's a challenge.
I don't know how to feel about this.
It's a challenge, and it's good. It's like playing a video game and getting into flow state.
Fair. As far as when I know people that love the movie, love the movie. And when they heard that there was a series, they were like, it's never going to work. It's not going to be any good. It's not going to be like the original. It doesn't have the same people in it. Oh, it's going to suck.
Guess what, idiots? It rules. It's so funny.
Yeah, it's so great. Not taking anything away from the original movie because the movie is awesome.
Yes.
And yeah, those characters do appear in at least one episode in the series.
That's right. They appear in the finale of season 1. For a council of sorts.
Yeah, the trial.
A trial.
Actually, that's not. I think it's actually episode 7. It's not even the end. 7. It's not even the end of the.
Well, the name of the episode is The Trial. Mm-hmm. It also stars Tilda Swinton as herself, Taika Waititi as Viago, Jermaine Clement as Vladislav, Johnny Brew as Deacon, and Wesley Snipes as the Daywalker.
Mm-hmm. I mean, is he playing Wesley Snipes or is he playing Blade?
I mean, it says Tilda Swinton as herself, so...
Yeah. Which I still need to see that vampire movie, which I heard is awesome.
I mean, vampire media is really fun to play with, which is another good reason why this works. I mean, one of my favorite episodes of the show is Nouveau Théâtre de Vampire, which is when they tie up the main vampires in the theater, the other vampires, and then Guillermo comes and saves them. Mm-hmm. Théâtre de Vampire, that's a very prominent set piece in Interview with a Vampire.
Absolutely. Yeah. Of which in that series, I was lucky enough to have a song in the Queen of the Damned soundtrack.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. So I had a song. As far as vampire media and me being connected, this is a great first episode because I've had songs in the movie Vampire 2000, the movie Queen of the Damned, and True Blood, the show.
That's really cool.
So I'm actually bummed I never got a song in this show, but what are you going to do?
Yeah, sorry. They just let Matt Berry sing all the songs.
Yeah.
Or just the one. That's cool. I hosted a reunion of the True Blood cast members once, so we're connecting it in a very weak way.
There we go. One time I played the LA Book Fair on a stage, and I was like, this song is from True Blood, which was originally a book. Before I played trying to tie things together.
Oh, okay.
Very loosely.
Yes, I understood that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you actually were introduced on stage by a very well-dressed Harvey Guillen, who plays Guillermo de la Cruz.
Yes.
We're going to play that now.
You guys, our next performer, Jason Charles Miller. You might have heard his music in a little movie called Queen of the Damned. A little TV show called True Blood. Please give it up for Jason Charles Miller!
It all ties together.
So how cool is that, right?
That is really cool.
Yeah.
I am very impressed. I did not know that happened until you told me right before recording, and I feel like you should lead with that more.
It was at the Vampire Ball 2022.
I've never even been to a vampire ball. I feel so stupid.
I feel like you would have fun.
I would.
Yeah.
I've worn fangs very much like the ones Guillermo wears in the intro.
Yeah.
When he, idolizes Antonio Banderas as Armand.
Sure.
It's a very rich show. It really shouldn't work, but it works so well. It's an all-timer comedy series. If you haven't seen it, I am jealous of you because you get to go watch it for the first time.
Yeah.
I think seasons 1 through 3, there is not one bad episode whatsoever. It's all bangers.
I'm going to definitely do a rewatch. Like it's one of those.
Yeah. And, it made stars of a mostly unknown cast, except for Matt Berry, who has always been incredible. Mm-hmm. Do I need to describe this as an overview?
I mean, I feel like hopefully everyone listening...
I hope you did, everyone, but just to catch you up. The series follows Nando the Relentless, a centuries-old vampire from what is now Southern Iran, Laszlo Cravensworth, aristocratic, science-focused vampire who's more interested in indulgent and adventurous sex. Naja of Antipaxos, a simple Greek Romani peasant turned ruthless killer who also likes indulgent and adventurous sex.
Which is great that they're married.
It sure is, and they have some cute matching outfits. Colin Robinson, the most boring man on Earth / energy vampire, and Guillermo de la Cruz, the only non-vampire who's attended Nandor for years as a doting familiar. There are other characters too, those are just the main ones. Together they navigate the challenges of modern life as vampires while maintaining the tradition of their quirks and origins. And it's a mockumentary, just to be clear, and a vampire parody.
And they break the fourth wall eventually.
Yeah.
When they go, hey, why is there a film crew here? Or whatever. And then they sort of make that part of it. Mm-hmm. The thing that I think really made the whole show work, that set it aside from the movie, but that is Colin Robinson. Because the energy vampire, Colin Robinson, look, we all know, we all have probably several Colin Robinsons in our lives.
Yeah.
And at first you're like, wait, is he even really a vampire? And then you do see that he does have powers eventually.
I've had more, a lot like Evie in my life, where they're emotional.
Yeah,
more
which
like
is who he ends up dating for a
preying
while.
on your guilt.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
More so than being incredibly boring. Mark Proksch plays Colin Robinson. He has a very hilarious comedy bit he did before this, in which he pretended to be a yo-yo expert and went to various local news morning shows to be a segment, and then he just messed up his yo-yo trip. And then he just messed up his yo-yo tricks. There is a whole compilation of this on YouTube. It is brilliant. You can see the beginnings of Colin Robinson being created there.
Wow.
He is low-key a genius. Also, one of the best parts of the later episodes of The Office.
Yep, absolutely. Where he kind of plays a Colin Robinson character for the most part. I mean, look, sometimes, Matt Berry sort of plays Matt Berry everything
Yeah, but I love
in.
it. I'll watch anything he's in.
Yeah, me too. Me too. In fact, he gave us an Easter egg, I want to say in maybe season 5, where he starts playing on the harpsichord and he's playing the theme song to one of his other shows.
Is it Toast of London?
Yeah, he's playing the Toast of London theme song on
Damn
the
it,
harpsichord.
Clem Fandango!
Yes!
If you don't know what we're talking about, find out.
Mm-hmm. Toast of London, completely worth it.
I did have one pitch for this final season that didn't happen, but I think it would have been brilliant.
Pitch away.
I wasn't a big fan of Jerry the Vampire. He was a character that was introduced for this final season.
Right.
I did think he would be carrying the final story arc that, the finale would end on, but we'll talk about that soon. Okay. He didn't. He ended up trying to lead a rebellion against the Baron and then dying. Mm-hmm. Anyway, my pitch would have been the vampire gang thinks an important vampire is coming to town. And we see 2 characters, one very vampiric-looking goth man played by Noel Fielding,
okay,
and his companion, who is just Richard Ayoade. And they think Noel is the vampire, but really he's just the familiar, and Richard is the important vampire. So they all work together in a show called The IT Crowd, which is pretty old, but oh man, was it good. That was some good young Matt Berry. Yeah.
I will say, I fully understand why you might have even expected that to happen, because there's been so many great cameos over the years on the show.
We even got Alexander Skarsgård this season. Mr. Eric Northman himself.
Yep.
But I see what they did. So I guess we can get into what we think of the finale in particular. Mm-hmm. Overall, it was very polarizing. Some people hate it. I actually liked it a lot, especially with the driving plot device of the documentary ending, which was pulled off better than what The Office did. I'm just saying. And Gizmo having to figure out what it means, extrapolate purpose, and ultimately try and make good TV through the documentary. So going into the final episode, I had no idea what they could possibly do, as they didn't seem to make any season-long build-up to an overarching storyline. And I think Guillermo trying so hard to find catharsis and then, spoiler, building to a false made-for-TV ending was actually the perfect thing. Life does not work that way. And there are rarely perfect endings and perfectly tied bows. People are not easy to understand storylines. And what do you want from a 30-minute comedy based around vampires with silly voices? Furthermore, vampires are immortal, so the only ending for them would be a horrifying death, by stake or sunlight, which I don't want. So really there is no meaningful end for anyone but Guillermo, so centering it on him was the right move in my opinion. What do you think, Jason?
Absolutely centering it on Guillermo. That was certainly the way to go. By the way, Kim pointed out to me that there are 2 more alternate endings in the extras.
They're not endings. They're like Nadja does brain
vignettes.
scramblies.
Yeah, there's 2 more brain scramblies
to trick
that
the
I
viewers
missed.
Of the documentary.
Yeah.
It's real in their world. Of the real ending, and it is the craziest thing you can imagine.
So if you missed them, Kim is now telling you where they are in the extras.
But you will receive permanent brain damage. There's no turning back. But they're pretty good. They're other famous finales. Should I just say what they are?
Yeah.
Okay, well, the one in the show is a play on the famous Bob Newhart scene in which Bob wakes up and realizes it was all a dream, and his wife from not that show but a different show says, "Oh, go back to bed, Bob." Then we have the Usual Suspects ending, and then we have the Rosemary's Baby ending, which is my favorite, even though it makes no sense.
No sense whatsoever, but it blew my mind. I loved it.
They shot it so well.
Yeah, I love how much attention to detail they spent on getting each shot right and lighting it the same. It was I love when people do that. But so my general thought on the ending was I actually felt like maybe they spent a little too much time on Cravensworth's monster.
I think the whole season spent too much time on Cravensworth's monster.
Yeah.
But I did like the scene where Guillermo was trying to wax poetic, and then everyone just watched the monster hump a stuffed bear and talked really loud the whole time.
That could have maybe been it. I don't think they needed to do so much more with him as well.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, that you could have given that time to Nadja and Laszlo.
Or Sean, their neighbor Sean.
Or the guide who was just there and didn't really do anything.
Right. I felt like Sean was the only thing that they left unresolved because
he was in the Scramblies endings, but you're right.
Right. He was in the Scramblies but those were like fake endings. Sean never was redeemed because they got him a fake job at the fake railroad company earlier in the season, and then he never got a job again.
Well, I kind of don't mind it because I think it goes in with the theme of this all is, because a lot of people's complaints about this was the lack of closing storylines and the lack of having, a real ending. But that's what the episode was about, was they were essentially writers rooming, like, oh, what should the ending be? And they were like, oh, would this be good? Would that be good? And then Guillermo does the fake I'm moving on ending, what's expected in this kind of situation. And reveals that, that's not what he's doing. There's obviously a more true and reasonable option. He's going to stick around, but as a full member in his own right, not a sidekick, not a vampire, but just who he is, which I think in a separate way kind of does achieve that full circle process, because it's anchored really with that one final scene after that where he reopens Nandor's coffin and Nandor goes, I thought I'd never see you again. And he goes, no, of course not. I'm not really doing that. And so they sit in the coffin scene. That's my favorite scene of the finale, really, because it's never happened before. And they're seeing eye to eye on equal footing, which is sitting in a fur-lined coffin that drops into a secret zany vampire bat cave. And that's what I think the show is.
Yeah.
It's I think it just didn't veer from what it has always been, which is silly, horny, weird, very light touch of warmth and sweetness, the lightest. But that's what I've always wanted and expected from the show, and that's what was there. I'd say my only problem is I didn't get enough Laszlo. But I did appreciate how involved, especially with the brain scramblies, Nadja was. And yeah, overall, I think it played a very meta ending that ended up working for me. I can see why it doesn't work for everyone, though.
Well, when they brought out the fact that they showed the fact that there had been a documentary film crew there before, like 100 years ago, they bring out like an 8mm film and show that. What that kind of touched on to me was the fact that, look, if vampires really did exist, newsflash, they actually don't. If
you don't know,
okay.
Okay, you do know. It's fine.
Yeah. If they really existed, what kind of life, quotation marks, would you really have if you were truly immortal? You would be continuing, it would be an endless cycle.
Well, you'd be real weird sexually, and they did do that.
They certainly went down that road for 6 seasons. But also you would be repeating a lot of the same things.
But more importantly, yes, it would just be a cycle,
And it's back to the episode 1,
we
house
need
meeting.
To have a house meeting.
Yeah. Clean up your victims
Clean up
after.
your victims after you bite them, and then they have the witch hat. I mean, this is a good time to do callbacks as well. The witch skin hat, and the callback to what was it? Jackie Daytona.
Yep, Jackie Daytona.
Very well-loved character.
Human bartender.
We haven't seen him in a while.
We haven't.
Pretty fucked up.
I bought a T-shirt for a friend of mine it just says Jackie Daytona. It's got him as Jackie, and it says human bartender. I think it was an unlicensed T-shirt, but it was
I'm
great.
pretty sure.
Yeah.
I follow an unofficial Matt Berry Instagram.
Me too. I followed that one.
Oh, okay, cool, because I don't think he does that.
No, definitely not.
But Kayvon Novak and Harvey Guillen do have excellent Instagrams. I'm just going to put that out there.
And our actor that plays Colin Robinson, I don't think he's on social media at all.
Well, I mean...
Which, good for him.
Out.
Good for him,
Yeah. Do you have some favorite episodes?
I do.
Overall?
I loved the trial in season 1.
With all the cameos?
Mm-hmm. And I know we talked about that already. The werewolf feud episode, also in season 1, kind of harkened back to the movie as well.
That's right. We haven't seen the werewolves in a long time.
No, I think the show just moved beyond that.
They did. They kept adding new kinds of magical paranormal. Speaking of, have you seen Wellington Paranormal?
No.
It is set in New Zealand.
Okay.
From the same people, or the same crew as the original movie. And
Wellington Paranormal. I got to check that out.
It's like two police officers handling paranormal activities around town. I would say it's also kind of a mockumentary. It kind of reminds me of Reno 911, but more paranormal and more Kiwi sensibilities than what Reno 911 is.
Great. Yeah, I'll check it out. Another favorite of mine was Colin's promotion. He gets promoted.
When he gets powerful?
Yeah, he gets promoted and he has too much power and he doesn't know what to do and he grows a full head of hair and then his brain gets big. Yep. I love that one. I love that one a lot. What about you? What are some of your favorite ones?
I have several.
Okay.
I love the casino. That's when they join Sean and Charmaine on a trip to Atlantic City.
Oh, yeah.
Nadja thinks the Rat Pack impersonators are the real Rat Pack because all humans look the same.
Mm-hmm.
The housekeepers vacuum their ancestral dirt, so Guillermo has to fly to their homelands and get more dirt. And then they fix the fight so Sean can get out of debt. And someone's head gets blown off because ain't that the kick in the head? Pride Parade, that's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Brain Scramblies, speaking of, that's one of the Superb Owl.
The Superb Owl. I mean, the Superb Owl is just a meme across time now. Yeah,
it seems like it's everywhere, but I think this either popularized it or made it. Go Flip Yourself when they have a house flipper episode.
That was great.
And they kill one of the Sklar brothers right away.
And the fact that Laszlo becomes addicted to watching it.
And he wears the gingham shirt, but he's still pale and has a cravat.
Yeah.
I love it when they wear human clothes and they look pale and weird. I don't think Nadja has done it, but Laszlo and Nandor definitely have.
Oh, for sure. Another favorite one of mine was, I believe it was in season 3, where the Wellness Center. When Nandor actually rejects vampirism and everyone pulls their fangs out
And he gets really into aerobics.
Right, and there's a self-help guru who's also a vampire who convinces everyone that they can be cured of their vampirism. And
Doesn't
of course,
he get into the bare naked ladies in that episode?
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. That's a good one. I mean, there's so many good ones. There's, like I mentioned, there's like solid seasons where they're all bangers.
Yeah.
It's just
1, 2, and 3. There's
good.
really nothing. There's nothing to.
I mean, later on there are some that are just like whatever, but
Sure.
a lot of really, really good episodes.
I did really enjoy in this season. I believe the episode is called "PI Undercover New York." But
where they go to the set and it's very realistic to being on a set?
yeah, so it's not only is it not only is it realistic to a set, I feel like it's probably a tribute to the crew of their actual show. Because many times they talk about how brilliant the writers are, and they talk, and it's really, I love it. It's like I think it's an homage to the people that worked on the show for the last 6 seasons.
Yes.
So.
Yeah. There's a lot to love here. Gosh, I'm looking through the episodes. There's so many good ones. City Council, Manhattan Nightclub.
I do want to know, though,
Yes.
in season 6, when Guillermo gets the job at the, what's it called? Something Capital?
Do you mean Canon Capital Strategies?
Yes, when he gets the job at Canon Capital Strategies.
Episode 2, Headhunting.
Why is it always nighttime there?
Because they explained it. They're always working around the clock with their international clients.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. So they're just one of those places that just...
I mean, I don't think real places have... I mean, if they do, it's not the whole team working only at night. There's probably different shifts, right?
Right. There's got to be. Write us, listeners. Let us know if there are indeed...
Yeah, if you work at a capital strategies company, a private equity firm, I don't know what that is. I'm an artist.
Yeah. One, write us and tell us if you work there. 2, write us and tell us what it is and what you do there.
And how you can stomach such a thing. No offense.
Well, I'm sure it's exaggerated.
Yeah, I'm sure they're not heartless and focused only on profit and not people. Anyway, let's get back to the show. Who is your favorite side character? Mine is Doug Jones as the Baron.
First of all, love Doug Jones as a person.
He is so nice in real life. I've met him and interviewed him a few times, and I presented him an award from Star Trek Discovery. He is a lovely person, and he's so talented and underrated.
He really is. Well, I think he's coming into his own.
Good. He deserves it.
And obviously, he was the monster in The Shape of Water, which won Movie of the Year, Oscar.
Oh, you mean Best Picture?
Yeah.
The Academy Awards?
Yeah, that one.
Uh-huh.
And so I think ever since then, it really, I was kind of bummed that he didn't get a nomination, honestly. There was a lot of acting going on there.
Yeah.
But
well, the politics of the big award shows are this whole other thing.
Yeah.
And I'm sure he's too nice to get into all of that.
That's another podcast entirely. But we worked together on a few episodes of The Guild back in the day.
Was that the Felicia Day show?
It was.
Okay.
Yes, the Felicia Day show called The Guild.
Yes.
And that's where I met him initially. And then just being in Hollywood, which this podcast is originating from Hollywood.
It's coming from inside the building.
I've run into him many times. What a wonderful guy. And I love to see that he had a larger and larger role as this show went on. I thought that was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. But my favorite sidekick is Shawnee.
I knew you would say that.
Yeah.
I knew it. You've been talking about him nonstop off camera.
Look, he's not really a likable guy.
Yeah, but he
necessarily.
loves him because he's his best friend.
Yeah.
He's his pal, homeboy, rotten soldier. He's a sweet cheese, my good time boy.
Right, exactly. So since Laszlo loves him, I love him.
All right, because we love Laszlo.
We do.
Yeah.
We do. Matt Berry is. I came to the IT crowd late. And
I did too.
And it was Toast of London that really introduced me to Matt Berry. And wow, Britain was keeping him captive for too long. Thank you for letting us see him.
We need him to be in more lead roles, mainstream lead roles, more roles for Matt Berry.
I mean, there was actually a Toast of London episode where he is being considered to be James Bond. Do it. Make him James Bond. Why not?
Well, he's 50 years old, for one.
Just a one-off. They did that with they did that with Sean Connery once, where he had retired from being James Bond, and then they brought him back later to just for a one-off.
What if he's another 00 who gets killed like right away?
That's probably what would happen. Yeah.
I also kind of wish that Beanie Feldstein as Jenna had come back. She was the human that Nadja had taken under her wing earlier on. She was like the virgin nerd at the college.
Right, and then she turned her into a vampire, right? And Guillermo was like, what the hell? You met her in one night and now she's a vampire?
Yeah.
I've been waiting for 10 years?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's off topic, but I love Guillermo's storyline where they're like, I know how we can end this. We turn Guillermo into a vampire. And then Ender goes, we already did that last season. I love that shit. I love the meta-ness.
Yeah. I did also love Evie. Mm-hmm. Just because to see two energy vampires going at it, or an energy and emotional.
She was so realistic.
Yeah.
I know people like Evie.
Yeah. Yeah, we both do.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that was a really brilliant addition to this because they added all kinds of monsters, like Haley Joel Osment as a zombie. Mm-hmm. We had Benedict Wong as the guy who made him a zombie. Oh, I loved that episode too. Topher and Wallace.
Oh man.
There's so much gold in this show. We simply can't get to it all. But I will say, highly recommend this series and the movie, but this series in particular. I personally really enjoyed the finale that just aired a month ago. Less than a month ago.
Maybe when this comes out, it'll be a month. But, okay, so that leads us to sort of the mission statement of this podcast. We are both busy people.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, some of us are on tour and some of us just drive over to Culver City, but, equally busy.
Absolutely equally busy. And so I think the idea was that we're not going to try to be current in the sense of like, oh, that show is about to end. Let's do a thing on it the day it comes out. Like, that's just not us. But
I will do it if it's genuinely important to me. But I think it's more important to be authentic and talk about things you are actually very interested in and have genuine enthusiasm about and things to say.
Yeah. So that's what you're going to get from us in this podcast. It's going to be we're going to talk about classic shows or movies that maybe we still like, or
I am going to talk about some current stuff, or I'm going to push that because there are some things coming to streaming this year that I am really excited about and I really like and I have followed, including a favorite of yours, which is The White Lotus. Huh? See?
Yeah.
Now you're back on board with what I want to do.
I'm here. Hey, I hear there's a Ted Lasso season 4. So
I don't think so. I don't think it exists.
No, it's a rumor.
No.
Ah, dang it. All right. Well, we'll
Ted
see.
Lasso was good for the time that I needed it, and then it became something else, and I don't need it anymore. I'll just say that.
Okay.
But we do have episodes where we don't agree, and that's also fine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, season 1 came at a perfect time. I think season 1 is a perfect 10
we're
episode
continue going off.
series. And then that's it. You're going to get a lot of this too.
Yeah.
So
All
that's
right.
sort of our friendship in a nutshell.
So thank you for joining us for this very first episode of Intro Skippers. Fun fact, this used to be called something else when we were working on it, and I don't know if we're going to edit out that part in a different episode that we already recorded.
All right. Have a great day, everybody.
Have a great whenever it is. Can we do a better outro? Is that fine?
Let's do a better outro.
Okay. I don't know what to do.
Well, maybe I was like, have a great day, everybody. Like, we should just do
have
it
a great
from there.
day, everybody.
And then
or night, considering when you're listening to this.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I meant day like in the sense of like a 24-hour period. Mm-hmm. Have a great 24-hour period,
That's
person.
a crazy thing to say.
You're right. It is. Sometimes people say good time zone. That's not good either. Not for this.
That's a Twitch thing.
Yeah.
Right?
Right, it is. It's a Twitch thing.
Is this all being kept in?
It could be.
I feel like it should be edited out.
Okay.
Okay.
We'll go again.
Thank you all for joining us for this very first episode of Intro Skippers and featuring the last episode of an excellent series itself. Maybe that means the beginning for this new one, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you all for joining us, and we will catch you next time for more fun and entertainment.
And everybody have a great day.
Day?
Or night, depending on when they're listening.
This is not smooth.
Or 24-hour period.
People don't talk like that.
Goodbye. That was good. I like that one. You?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I will go hit stop.
Intro Skippers with Jason Charles Miller and Kim Horcher is produced and edited by Kim Horcher and Jason Charles Miller. The name order doesn't really matter. Additional writing by Kim Horcher. Theme song and incidental music by Jason Charles Miller. Take it away, me. You can rate and review this show on Apple Podcasts. 5 stars only, please. And you might find your review read on a future episode. Got a question? Email us at introskipperspod@gmail.com. That too could be featured on a future episode. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to Intro Skippers on your favorite podcast platform. All right, for getting this far, you get a reward. I stopped talking.